August 31 C tilde. Only the invisible ones will find this message. Watch now. Joe Dispenza. There are moments in life when a message seems to appear out of nowhere. You may stumble upon it at just the right time. It feels like it was meant for you and only you. This is not an accident. There is something invisible guiding you here. The invisible is more powerful than what the eyes can see. It is the energy that moves behind every thought, every feeling, every action. And only a few people are ready to understand this truth. When you step into the world of the unseen, you enter a reality most people ignore. The majority are caught up in noise, in the surface level of life. But those who feel something deeper, something beyond, know there is another way. This invisible force is always present. It calls to you in whispers, in synchronicities, in sudden feelings of knowing. And when you listen, your life begins to change. This message is not for everyone. Many will hear it and quickly forget, but a few will stop and feel something stir inside. If you are still here, it means you are one of the invisible ones. You are not led by chance. You are drawn by resonance. You sense that reality is more than what meets the eye. You know there is more waiting beneath the surface. Today's message is a reminder of what you already know deep within. The invisible holds the true power. The unseen creates the seen. You were guided here for a reason. Stay with these words. Let them open something within you. Because the moment you embrace the invisible, you step into a higher dimension of your own being. What is invisible does not mean it is unreal. Air is invisible, yet you breathe it every second. Wi-Fi signals are invisible, yet they connect billions of people across the planet. Gravity is invisible, but it holds the entire universe together. In the same way, the energy of thought and emotion is invisible, but it is more powerful than we realize. When you think a thought, you create a frequency. That frequency does not vanish. It ripples out like a wave, touching everything in its path. Most people underestimate this truth. They think only what they see matters. But the invisible world of thought and energy is the blueprint of reality. It is the foundation upon which everything physical is built. The invisible also hides within you. Your imagination, your intuition, your inner knowing, all of these cannot be touched, yet they guide your entire life. When you trust these inner signals, you are walking with the invisible. You are moving with a deeper intelligence that is beyond logic. This is where true creation begins. The invisible ones are those who live by this inner vision. They are not distracted by appearances. They do not settle for surface explanations. They look beyond, they feel beyond, and they trust the power of the unseen. And because of this, their lives unfold in extraordinary ways. They align with synchronicities, they attract opportunities, and they live from a place of flow. The invisible is their compass, and it never fails them. Dates can hold meaning. They are not just numbers on a calendar. Every ending and beginning carries energy. August 31st stands at the edge of transition. It closes the cycle of summer and prepares the way for a new season. It carries the symbolism of both ending and renewal. For those who are awake, such times act as portals. They invite reflection, alignment, and a chance to reset your energy. The invisible ones understand that timing is never random. Life has patterns. The universe speaks through rhythm and cycles. When you pay attention, you notice how certain dates feel different. Some days carry more intensity. Some bring clarity or endings. Others open new doors. August 31st is such a moment. It is the pause before the shift. It is a threshold between what has been and what is yet to come. When you are tuned to the invisible, you can feel these portals. You sense when it is time to release the old. You feel when it is time to prepare for new possibilities. On this date, you are invited to step back and ask, what part of my life is ready to end? What energy no longer serves me? And what do I choose to carry into the new cycle? The invisible ones take this time seriously. They use it to align their inner world with what they wish to create. They know that energy comes before form. By shifting their focus now, they are planting seeds for what will soon bloom. August 31st is not just another day. It is a reminder that endings are not losses, but invitations to something greater. Most people believe only in what they can see, touch, and measure. This is the world of matter. They live by appearances, by physical results, by what seems solid and real. But the invisible ones know that matter is not the source. Energy is. Energy creates matter. The invisible shapes the visible. When you live by matter alone, you are always reacting. You wait for something physical to prove that change has happened. But when you live by energy, you create change from the inside out. You feel it first. You align your thoughts and emotions first, and then the physical follows. This is the great shift. It is the difference between waiting and creating. The invisible ones are not bound by appearances. Even if their outer life looks unchanged, they know change has already begun, because they feel the shift within. They trust that energy moves before matter does. They walk with patience, faith, and inner alignment. And soon the outer world rearranges to match the invisible blueprint they have already built. This is not fantasy. It is a deeper law of life. Everything you see once existed first as energy, as intention, as possibility. The invisible ones live by this truth. They invest more in their inner world than their outer circumstances. They know that when the inside changes, the outside has no choice but to follow. This is the path of transformation. Inside you, there are two powerful centers of intelligence: the brain, which creates thought, and the heart, which creates feeling. Most people live with these two forces in conflict. The mind says one thing, while the heart feels another. This creates chaos inside. But when the mind and heart move together, something extraordinary happens. You enter coherence. Coherence is a state where your brain waves and heart rhythms are in harmony. In this state, energy flows freely. You feel calm, yet alert, peaceful, yet powerful. Science shows that coherence strengthens your immune system, improves decision-making, and even increases creativity. But beyond science, coherence connects you to the invisible field of energy around you. It aligns your inner world with the higher intelligence of life. When you are in coherence, you are not separate from the universe. You are in tune with it. You send out a signal that is strong, clear, and magnetic. What you think and what you feel move together. This unity makes your intentions far more powerful. It is like striking a perfect chord in music. The invisible responds to harmony. The invisible ones practice coherence daily. They breathe with awareness. They bring gratitude into the heart while focusing the mind on clear intention. This simple practice opens a doorway into deeper states of connection. It is a way of stepping out of survival and into creation. In coherence, you stop chasing outcomes. You begin attracting them. You are no longer fighting against life. You are moving with it. All around you exists a field you cannot see. It is the quantum field, the invisible space where all possibilities exist. Science tells us that at the smallest level, reality is not solid. It is made of energy, vibrating and shifting, waiting for direction. This invisible field is where thought and intention plant their seeds. Every possibility already exists in this field. Every version of your life, success, healing, love, abundance, all of it is present as potential. The key is focus. What you focus on, you give energy to. And what you give energy to, you pull out of the invisible and into the visible. Most people focus on problems, fear, and lack. And that is what continues to appear. But the invisible ones know the secret of shifting attention. Instead of feeding the old, they place energy on what they choose to create. They imagine the outcome. They feel it as if it is already here. They hold that vibration with trust. Slowly, the invisible responds. The possibilities begin to collapse into reality. The unseen becomes seen. The invisible becomes visible. This is not luck. It is not magic. It is alignment with the deeper truth of life. Everything physical begins in the invisible field. The invisible ones know this and live by it. They don't wait for proof before they believe. They believe first and the proof follows. This is how they step into timelines others cannot see. Not everyone can hear the call of the invisible. Most are distracted. They live in survival, chasing money, approval, and control. Their minds are loud, full of worry and doubt. Their hearts are heavy, carrying old pain. In this noise, the message of the unseen is drowned out. They cannot hear it because they are too focused on the visible world. The invisible whispers. It does not shout. It requires stillness, openness, and trust to be felt. Many people dismiss it because it feels subtle. They expect signs to be dramatic, obvious, impossible to miss. But in truth, the invisible speaks in quiet ways. A sudden idea, a strange coincidence, a gentle pull in one direction. Those who ignore the subtle miss the doorway to transformation. The invisible ones are different. They live with awareness, they notice small details, they sense patterns, they follow intuition even when it does not make logical sense. They are not trapped in the noise of fear. This is why the invisible message reaches them. They are tuned like an antenna. They are listening when others are distracted. The truth is simple. Everyone is being guided, but only a few pay attention. Those who miss the message continue in the same cycle of struggle. Those who hear it step into a new path. The invisible ones are not special by birth. They are simply awake. They choose to look beyond appearances and listen to what most ignore. Meditation is not about sitting still and doing nothing. It is about stepping beyond the noise of the senses. It is about entering the invisible. When you close your eyes, slow your breath, and let go of your thoughts, you shift your attention inward. You leave behind the outer world of distraction and move into the inner world of energy. In this inner world, you are no longer limited by time, place, or identity. You are not your past. You are not your problems. You become a field of awareness, open and free. Here is where the invisible speaks the loudest. In stillness, the whispers become clear. Insights come, peace returns. Energy aligns. Meditation is the bridge between the physical and the unseen. The invisible ones understand this and practice it daily. They don't wait for outer change. They create inner change first. They sit in silence and align their mind with their heart. They practice gratitude. They breathe into the present moment. And in that space, they begin to feel connected to something greater than themselves. Meditation is the doorway to the invisible. It is where the old self dissolves and the new self begins to form. It is where hidden energy becomes available. Every minute spent in stillness is a step into creation. The invisible ones use meditation to build the life they choose, starting with the unseen world within. Inside the body are powerful centers of energy. These are not just physical organs, but invisible points where life force flows. When these centers are balanced, energy moves freely. The body feels alive, the mind feels clear, and the heart feels open. But when they are blocked, imbalance shows up as stress, illness, and emotional pain. Most people try to fix problems from the outside. They use medicine, distractions, or quick solutions. But true healing begins in the invisible. When you bring awareness to your energy centers, you start to release the blocks. Breath, meditation, and focus direct energy back into balance. The invisible flow begins to restore the body and the mind. The invisible ones know that healing is not just physical. It is energetic. Every thought and emotion leaves an imprint on the body. Fear and anger create tension. Gratitude and love create harmony. By raising their frequency, the invisible ones heal themselves from the inside out. They do not wait for outer cures. They activate the inner healer. This process may seem subtle, but the results are powerful. Many have experienced physical changes simply by shifting their inner energy. Invisible healing is not a miracle. It is a natural law. When energy flows freely, the body returns to balance. The invisible ones live by this truth. They trust their body's intelligence and use energy as medicine. Every thought you think carries energy. You cannot see it, but it is real. Science shows that thoughts create measurable frequencies. When you think the same thought over and over, you create a pattern, a vibration that shapes your life. Most people let their thoughts run wild, repeating the same worries, doubts, and fears, and so their reality never changes. The invisible ones choose differently. They know that thought is a signal. When they think with clarity and focus, they send a strong frequency into the field around them. This frequency attracts matching experiences. Positive thoughts draw positive outcomes. Elevated thoughts connect to higher possibilities. The invisible world responds to the vibration of thought. Your mind is like a transmitter, constantly broadcasting, but it is also a receiver. When you tune it to higher frequencies, you begin to receive insights, ideas, and opportunities that match. This is why guarding your thoughts is so important. The invisible ones understand that careless thinking is like careless planting. Whatever seeds you put into the field will eventually grow. By choosing thoughts of gratitude, vision, and possibility, the invisible ones reshape their lives. They don't wait for circumstances to change their minds. They change their minds to shift circumstances. They treat every thought as a frequency. Every focus is energy, and in doing so they master the invisible language of creation. There is a state of being where you let go of everything you think you are. You stop being someone with a name, a story, a past. You let go of where you are, of time itself. In this space you are no one, nowhere, in no time. This may sound strange, but it is the doorway to deep transformation. When you release identity, you are free from limits. You are no longer trapped in the old version of yourself. The problems, fears, and habits tied to your identity fall away. You become pure awareness, open and infinite. In this space, the invisible becomes accessible. You can create not from who you were, but from who you choose to become. Most people resist this state. They cling to their stories, their roles, their past. They don't realize that holding on keeps them repeating the same patterns. The invisible ones embrace letting go. They dissolve into stillness and allow themselves to be no one. They trust the process of emptying so that something greater can fill them. In this state, you are closest to the invisible field of creation. Here, time does not exist. The past does not matter. The future is not yet formed. You are present in the eternal now, and in the now, everything is possible. This is how the invisible ones step into a life that others cannot even imagine. Belief is more than an idea. It is energy. It is the invisible bridge between what you desire and what you experience. When you believe, you give life to possibility. You signal to the field that you are ready to receive. Without belief, nothing new can enter. Faith is the ability to trust even when you cannot yet see results. Most people give up before change happens. They demand proof first, but the invisible works differently. Proof comes after belief, not before. The invisible ones understand this. They hold faith through doubt. They believe even when the outer world looks the same. Belief also changes the body. Science has proven the placebo effect, where belief alone triggers real healing. This is invisible energy at work. When you believe something deeply, your body responds as if it is true. You release chemicals, activate genes, and begin to shift your biology. This is not fantasy. It is a hidden law of the mind and body. The invisible ones use faith as fuel. They know that what they believe will eventually appear. They don't let outer appearances weaken their inner vision. They trust the invisible even when nothing seems to change. And soon the outer world bends to match their inner conviction. The placebo effect is one of the greatest proofs of invisible power. When a person believes they are receiving healing, the body often responds as if it truly is. Even when given a sugar pill or an empty treatment, the body changes. Pain lessens, symptoms reduce, and energy returns. How is this possible? It is the invisible power of belief. This shows that the body is not just a machine. It is an intelligent system that responds to thoughts and expectations. If belief in an external pill can create healing, imagine what belief in your own inner power can do. The invisible ones tap into this truth. They use focused thought, gratitude, and elevated emotion as medicine. What is most fascinating is that many dismiss the placebo as fake, but there is nothing fake about real healing. If the body repairs itself because of belief, that is as real as any medicine. The only difference is that the source of healing was invisible. It came from within. The invisible ones live by this principle. They don't underestimate the power of belief. They see the placebo not as weakness, but as proof of inner strength. They know that the mind and body are always in dialogue. And by directing the invisible energy of belief, they awaken the body's natural intelligence to restore itself. Becoming invisible does not mean disappearing. It means living beyond the limits of the senses. It means stepping out of the noise and aligning with the unseen world of energy. There are simple ways to begin this practice every day. First, meditation. Spend time each day in silence. Breathe slowly. Focus on the heart. Allow the mind to quiet and the body to relax. This creates space for the invisible to speak. Second, journaling. Write your intentions as if they have already happened. This sends a clear signal into the field of possibility. Third, gratitude. Practice feeling thankful for life, not just in your head, but in your heart. Gratitude raises your frequency and makes you magnetic. Fourth, live beyond the senses. Do not let appearances control you. If something is not yet visible, trust that it exists in the unseen. Stay focused on the energy you wish to live in. Finally, remain patient. The invisible works in its own timing. Trust the process, even when nothing seems to be happening. The invisible ones do not chase outcomes. They align with energy. They practice daily, consistently. They know that transformation comes not from one big act, but from small choices repeated over time. These practices make you invisible to the limits of the old world and visible to the greater intelligence of the universe. You did not find this message by accident. You were guided here by resonance. The invisible has been calling, and you answered. This is proof that you are one of the invisible ones, those who live beyond the surface, those who trust the unseen, those who create from within. The date is not the point. The portal is always now, but today is a reminder that endings are beginnings, a reminder that the invisible is where true power lives, and a reminder that only those who are awake will hear the call. You are one of them. The question is, what will you do with this knowing? Will you return to the old ways of living by matter alone, or will you step fully into the invisible path, the path of energy, faith, and creation? The choice is yours. The invisible will always respond to your decision. If this message touched something inside you, it means you are ready. Stay aligned. Keep practicing. Trust the unseen. Because the moment you live as an invisible one, life will reveal possibilities that others cannot even imagine. And when they ask how, you will smile, knowing the truth, what is invisible shapes everything that is seen.